How's it going, everybody? Thanks for tuning in. I'm Alan Staley, and this is Slinging Dirt with Staley. On this week's all-new episode, a driver who's picked up feature victories in 3 different sanctioning bodies in the same season, holding wins with the Power I Lucas Oil War Sprint League, the Iowa Sprint Car League, as well as the ASCS Elite Non-Wing Sprint Car Series, winning this season in Iowa, Missouri, and Texas. Basically, wherever he goes, he's a front-runner. Driver of the Clem Signs, Torgerson Trenching Services, TCB Speed North, Ultraline Hobbies RC Raceway, Midwest Small Engines, Jaden's Hope Foundation, Rumsey Special, Bendre Express, Lazy L Ranch, KH Suspension, Bumper to Bumper, Maxim Chassis, Salina Racing Engines 410 Non-Wing, number 11W. From Topeka, Kansas, it's Wyatt Burks. Flying Wyatt finds himself a wanted man in the Iowa Sprint League, claiming 3 out of the 5 features so far, earning the series point lead, as well as getting a bounty placed on his head for any driver that can cleanly beat him. This is nothing new for race fans that follow Burks' career. He's been winning for over a decade plus, notching 6 feature victories in 2019 so far. I was lucky enough to catch up with Wyatt at the historic Knoxville Raceway as we talk about his own history behind the wheel and what makes him such a top-tier competitor. We dive into a few of his off-season hobbies, why Burks prefers traditional sprinters to wings, and his number-inspiring Mount Rushmore of racing. All that and more on an all-new Slinging Dirt with Staley. Special guest Wyatt Burks, starting right about now.
My dad used to race go-karts, and he ran all over Topeka and stuff, and he actually had Chris Morgan drive stuff sometimes for him. And Danny Billings, he's actually my boss now, and mine and Chris' boss, and he races micros, and he ran 2-barrel 360 stuff, and we helped him out, and he actually built my very first quarter midget, and ever since then I fell in love.
How long have you been racing now?
Coming up on like 21 years. I started when I was 30, so it's been quite a long time.
A lot of accomplishments in those 20-some years behind the wheel. Is there specific races that stand out in your mind?
I was fortunate enough to make the A main at the shootout 4 times, 4 different classes. Never won it. It was close one year. I was running like 5th, and the battery came back in the header and melted. Ended up causing us to run like 15th a couple hours ago. But I mean, making this one last night was a big deal.
Yeah.
That was our goal coming into here, is to make the show. And our main goal was make the show and then try to be the highest finishing war guy. And I think we did it. So.
You checked off both those check marks on that one. Big tracks like this, it has to be a little intimidating, isn't it?
It's just another racetrack. You can't go in being intimidated.
Yeah.
Or else you ain't gonna run very good. But
does anything really intimidate you when you get behind the wheel, though?
I ran Lakeside with the Outlaws 2 years ago. I mean, at first it was a little intimidating because you're with the Outlaws, and I mean, I've never drove a Wing 410 sprint car before, and they do some wicked stuff down the straightaway that you don't expect. But after I got a few laps in it, didn't really bother me. So,
is there anything in a car that you haven't done yet that you want to? Like, you kind of mentioned the Chili Bowl and the shootout and all that. Do you want a driller?
Yeah, I want one, but man, that's hard.
It's very hard to do.
I run the Chili Bowl for Dan Harris and Wayne Eltis out of Texas. So I could make the show down there, and that'd be a driller to me, basically.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, the win here would be awesome. That's like a bucket list deal. But I mean, they're tough to come about.
Yeah, they are. Anything quite like that first win?
No, not really. I mean, I ran wing cars, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 years before I stepped in the non-wing, and I got my butt handed to me, and then we'd run good, and then it was the second night in the non-wing car, and I picked up my first win.
Nice.
And it was like a big relief, because I was beating myself down big time. I just almost didn't I didn't even want to race anymore.
Non-wing or wing, which do you prefer?
A non-wing.
You're a non-wing guy?
Hell no, it just came more natural.
Yeah.
It was easier to
Puts it more back in your hands and everything.
Yeah, it's not all about the car's got to be 100% perfect. Your motor's got to be running 100% perfect. Like, it's more in the driver's hand, and you got to finesse the car a little bit more. And I like it when it gets real slick because people struggle, and I like to roll the bottom. That's just kind of how I am.
Are you a top or a bottom guy? Which you?
I'll
Wherever's fastest.
Yeah, wherever, but usually can find me around the bottom most of the time.
I know you went down to Texas. You pick up a win, and I think the second on the second night. That had to be a really good trip.
Yeah, it was a pretty good trip. We ended up winning the first night, like you said, and I think we could have won the second night, but it laid rubber from the get-go, and I didn't really want to move the guy. I didn't want to be that guy that came down there out of the state and just run a guy over, so I just kind of cruised in second. We ended up running second.
And then a really good showing there in another series there at US 36 Raceway. I've seen you circle that track there at US 36 quite a few times in a wing and a non-wing. It's got to be a certain rush in that bull ring when you just throw it in sideways and hopes it sticks.
Yeah, everybody talks about that place, and it's unique. It's never, you don't run 25 laps the same there. It's always different because of the holes and the ruts, and it's a unique place. But now that Iowa Sprint Series is getting bigger and bigger, and we're actually rolling pretty good with that deal. We ran 3 races with them, and we won 2 of them. We ran second
on another one, yeah. So I'd say that's pretty good odds there.
Yeah.
The 11W, where's it come from? Why the number? Any big significance?
Steve Kinzer was my idol.
Well, that makes sense.
Danny Billings, he was number 11 too, and I grew up watching him. And he helped me a bunch, and then the W's just from my name.
Yep.
There's so many 11s. So.
Yeah, there is quite a few 11s. What is a race day mindset like for a Wyatt Burks? I mean, you come into the racetrack. What's the mindset like?
Just stay relaxed, stay focused. Don't let it get to you. Don't let the pressure get to you. I mean, like tonight, it's all about gotta qualify good again. And gotta get through your qualifier. And I feel like we can do that. Put 2 good runs together there. We'll be setting 11th in points right now going into the night. So if we can do that, we'll hopefully be in the hay.
Is there any added pressure having kind of the reputation that you do as a front runner, as a winner? Is there any added pressure to you each night?
No, I don't let that get to me. I mean, it's just one of those deals you gotta go out and do.
You gotta go out and do your job. When you're out there on the track, are you thinking and looking for the best possible line, or is it kind of like a spur of the moment, react and advance?
You're always looking. You gotta go where other people are.
While you're sitting in the staging area, just about to take the track, helmets on, gloves on, you're all strapped in. What's going on inside the mind?
Like last night when I was sitting in staging, I think Leary was out right before me, and it sounded like he never lifted for qualifying. So I told myself I better not be chicken and go out and do it. I don't know, just kind of pump myself up.
Why keep doing it? Where's motivation come from?
The love.
You just love it that much?
I love doing it. I mean, I took off a couple of years and went and did the career guide for Logan Fuller, Brian Brown, and I've seen what it's like to go do that full time.
Yeah.
I mean, it ain't as glorious as everybody thinks it is. It's a lot of hours.
It is.
I mean, I love the fans, but you get some fans that just bug you. But I mean, it's part of it, and if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be here. But it's like I said, it's a lot of hours up and down the road. And you're tired, wore out, and your body's beat up. But no, I just love it. I don't know. It's all I talk about. It's my life.
Yeah,
it's hard not to talk about racing.
I'm kind of in the same boat. It's all we really know.
That's all I've grown up knowing.
Yeah.
Sometimes I wish I would be a little bit different.
Yeah.
Because it's like you go to other social events and people don't like talking about it. They'd rather talk about other stuff. And that's just not me, and I don't enjoy that. I just love racing so much.
Any chance that you're going to be chasing points? Are we doing that in the Iowa Sprint League?
Yeah, kind of. Since we started off so good, Iowa will probably keep running.
You can't help but think about it. It's in the back of the mind. I mean, 2 first and a second, you can't help but just kind of keep it there.
Yeah,
maybe.
I mean, you can't really focus on that. I think that was a problem a couple of years ago when we ran for the war points. We ended up second. That's all we worried about.
You're just thinking about it so much.
We shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
Should have just showed up and raced our own race. Don't worry about the points.
Let the chips kind of fall where they may, and if you get a championship, awesome. If not, at least we got a lot of fun out of it.
That's kind of how it was when we rolled into this Iowa deal. We never really planned on it. We've just been rolling good, and I've actually never won a championship in my whole entire racing career because I've never ran for points really anywhere other than I think my first year running for points was the war deal 2 years ago.
So it's not something that's up there on your list, like I have to do this in order to make my racing career?
I mean, it'd be cool to do, but I mean, yeah, it's a championship, but I'd rather win races. I've always been a firm believer if you can go travel anywhere and you're fast, you're going to be fast anywhere you go.
Exactly.
And I think that's a lot of the deal is some people like to chase points and they're good at certain places and other places they struggle. And luckily enough, we travel quite a bit and go run other racetracks. I feel like it makes me better and makes us all around better as a team. So.
Any asphalt?
I did asphalt when I was in quarter midgets. Wasn't really a big fan of it.
Just dirt.
We went and ran a bunch of dirt stuff when we were in quarter midgets. We'd go to Illinois instead of running our home track that was 20 minutes from our house. But I'd really love to drive a Silver Crown car once. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Where do you see your racing program progressing over the next 5 years?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I've never really thought about that. We take it pretty much day by day.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot of money that goes into this deal, and you got to have backing to help you keep going. So.
Before the season, I know everybody kind of releases their schedule right around the same time. Are you forming a schedule when everybody releases their stuff? Like, here's where I'm going to go this weekend.
Yeah, I sit down and I printed off the Iowa deal, the war stuff, the ASCS Elite deal, some USAC stuff, and then some Indiana stuff. And we draw up a schedule. We don't post it anywhere. We just kind of pick and choose when the week comes.
Where you want to go, you just go. Anybody you want to give a special shout out to? Thanks for helping in your racing career.
Yeah, I really got to thank Donald Rumsey. We ended up losing him last year. It was actually a couple days ago. It's been 1 year. It's crazy how fast time's going.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be where we are right now. But my dad, he works his butt off. He's over there finishing up the car.
He may
right
be
now.
one of the hardest working men in the pits. I will give him that.
Yeah, he's quiet, keeps to himself, but he loves working on him. We might fight a lot, but usually we get over it real quick.
That's that father-son working on that.
Oh, yeah. But Torreson Trenching Service, Clean Signs, Binders Express, Slide Engines, they run awesome. Do a great job. Cage Suspensions, Nick and Blake, they're awesome guys to work with. More and more people are going to them, which is cool, and they're out of Colorado, and they both used to work for Martin Truex Jr. Well, Blake still does. He's the car chief for him. So.
Nice.
But I know I'm forgetting people. Midwest Small Engines, Jaden's Hope Foundation, my cousin, Lazy L Ranch.
I know one of them, and we're going to hit on it right now because this past off season, I inherited a new hobby. And that hobby is RC cars.
Yep, Ultraline. Yeah, we got a group in Topeka. They run stock slashes and modified bodies, and they run on slick tracks. But Ultraline, it's a carpet place, and I've been out there once. I got it. I got my own late in the year last year. I only ran it a couple times, and then it was like race season, so I put that aside.
That's kind of the same way I am.
It sets aside for right now. I haven't touched it. Shit, it's been since we had a big race at the Ultraline, actually. It was Slick Track Nationals. That's the last race I ran, but no, Chris Morgan kind of got me into him, and him and Stephen Bowers Jr., and they helped me out, but it's just like a regular race car. You trying to find ways to be faster than everybody else, so just got the one. I ain't gonna buy anymore because that gets freaking expensive.
It's just like regular cars; they're expensive.
I gotta spend money on the real race cars, so I'll just keep with the one.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm calling you out on this show. I want to race you in one of those RC cars at some point.
Sounds good to me.
What is your Mount Rushmore of racing?
Growing up, Jeff Gordon was a big one.
Yep. This show's done. I'm turning it off right now.
I don't care what anybody says. He's good. I mean, he done.
I like him better now that he's out of the car.
Yeah.
He's a good commentator. I'll give him that.
He done about everything and anything in a car.
He did.
I think it's cool as he grew up with what I started in. He moved sprint cars, and then he ran midgets. He's run it all, and I mean, he's won a lot.
Yeah.
And he was one of my favorites. I know a lot of people don't like him, but he was one of my favorites. And then probably have to go with Steve Kinzer. I mean,
we're on hollow ground here.
Who couldn't like the king?
Exactly.
I mean, he's the king.
Yep.
And it was actually cool when I was working for Logan. We were out at Ohio Speed Week and we parked beside him. actually ended up having a beer with him after the races was over, and
That's
I
awesome.
thought that was cool. 'Cause
Yeah.
he was like my childhood idol. So. But and then the next one would probably be the dude.
Wisloski.
Yep, he's I met him through Brian Brown when I worked for him, and he's been an extremely big help. Like, he's helped me out a ton, and I can't thank him enough. He's awesome to work.
Always willing to
with,
give you advice and things like that. Yeah.
He's improved me as a driver, and just a little bit he's helped. And yeah, he's definitely one of them for sure.
And your last one?
I'd have to say probably Christopher Bell. I grew up racing with him. It's cool seeing him doing what he's doing, and I mean, crap, look at him. He's like, he's going to be the next
big thing.
Yeah, he's going to be the next Jeff Ford and Tony Stewart.
Yep.
Jimmy Johnson. He's good, and it's pretty cool to say you raced with him.
Against him and everything, yeah.
I mean, same age as maybe a year older than me, I think. But say you raced with him and grew up with him racing in Oklahoma and Sweet Springs, and I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I root for him every weekend. So.
Yeah, can't be mad at that. All right, buddy, that's all the questions I got for you this time, but I want to get you back on the show here in a little bit, and hopefully we're celebrating that points championship in the Iowa Sprint League at the end of the year.
Yeah.
I wish the best of luck to you, and what do you say we park that 11W in Victory Lane here tonight?
That'd be a dream come true. If we could come off with the top 5, I'd be happy.